Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. Phone and now the headlines as usual.
Party leader arrives in Beijing, starting China visit. Hanoi bringing local products closer to consumers. And later on, Stone Steely's telling stories of ancient sages.
General Secretary of the Communist Party Vietnam Central Committee, Nguyễn Phú Trọng, is paying an official visit to China from October 30th to November 2nd. The visit is made at the invitation of General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Central Committee and President of China Xi Jinping. Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng and his entourage arrived in Beijing on October 30th afternoon, starting his official visit to China at the invitation of Party General Secretary and President of China Xi Jinping. He was welcomed at the Beijing airport by Liu Qianchao, head of the International Liaison Commission of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, and Vietnamese ambassador to China Pham Sao Mai. The visit by party leader Trọng is to highlight the foreign policy, including the affirmation of Vietnam's consistent advocate of taking the relations with China as a top priority in the foreign policy, hoping for long-term, stable, and more effective and practical relations in the spirit of the common perceptions by high-ranking leaders of the two parties and states, and at the same time to make clear Vietnam's concerns, just stance, and legitimate interests. The visit is to express support to the development advocates and ideologies of the 20th Congress of the Communist Party of China, beneficial to peace, cooperation, and development, and the leading nucleus position of General Secretary Xi Jinping established by the Communist Party of China. In an interview granted to the Vietnam News Agency's resident correspondent in Beijing, Su Liping, director of the Center for Southeast Asian Studies at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, said, after the 19th Communist Party of China National Congress, Party General Secretary and President of China Xi Jinping selected Vietnam as the first country to visit. He said the upcoming visit to China by General Secretary of the Communist Party Vietnam Central Committee Nguyễn Phú Trọng demonstrates the traditional friendship between the Communist parties Vietnam and China and the two states. Party leader Trọng is the first foreign leader to visit China after the 20th Communist Party of China National Congress, which he said reflects the specificity and importance of the relations between the two parties and states.
Become Vietnam's biggest trade partner, while Vietnam is the sixth largest trade partner of the neighboring country. This demonstrates potential for trade ties between the two countries.
During the COVID-19 pandemic combat, the two countries supported each other and effectively cooperated in the spheres of vaccine, medical equipment, and diagnostic.
The two countries have utilized their reciprocal advantages in the spirit of mutual benefits and stepped up pragmatic cooperation in economy, trade and investment.
The visit to China by the Vietnamese party leader will have to deepen the strategic trust between two parties and states, diversify the content of the comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership, and intensify the mutual political trust between China and ASEAN. We have more news coming up next. Let's take a look. General Director of the Vietnam News Agency Vũ Việt Trang and President of the Cuban News Agency Prensa Latina Luis Enrique González Acosta held a working session at the former's headquarters in Hanoi on the afternoon of October 30th. The two sides reviewed the implementation of bilateral cooperation programs since 2020 in information exchange, the printing and distribution of Vietnam pictorial, and cooperation in the exchange of experts and support for each other's resident reporters. They also affirmed the importance of enhancing cooperative activities which contribute to strengthening the understanding and traditional friendship between Vietnam and Cuba. The Vietnam News Agency appreciates the support of its Cuban counterpart in improving the quality of Vietnamese Spanish language external information as well as in training Vietnamese editors. They also agreed to recite the cooperation agreement in printing and distributing Vietnam pictorial publications in Latin America in 2023. The two sides also agreed to resume the annual high-level delegation exchanges starting from 2023 after 2 years of interruption due to COVID-19. General Director Chang invited the Prensa Latina president to Vietnam on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of Cuban leader Fidel Castro's historic visit to Vietnam. The two agencies agreed to coordinate in organizing a photo exhibition in Vietnam on this occasion. Vietnamese tech firms are expected to grow rapidly in both the mid and long term, thanks to the rising IT demand around the world and rapid digital transformation at home.
The Vietnamese Ministry of Information and Communications targeted 100,000 digital firms in Vietnam by 2025, a rise of 56.25% from 2021. Software exports by domestic enterprises has increased with new contracts. Tech conglomerate FPT, for example, earned nearly $480 million USD from exports as of August, up nearly 30% year-on-year. Meanwhile, digital transformation has been accelerated by both businesses and the public sector. Notably, Vietnam has advantages in its IT workforce market. According to HSBC, more than half of programmers in Vietnam are 29 to 30 years old. The hourly wage for IT outsourcing software development in Vietnam is about $18, equivalent to 64% in other Asian nations and 10% in the US. Therefore, customers from big markets like the US, Japan, the EU and Asia Pacific have selected Vietnam as an ideal destination for cooperation in IT development.
The Human Resources Forecast and Labor Market Information Center in Ho Chi Minh City said the labor market from now to the end of 2022 will be active. Labor demand from enterprises in the Southern Economic Hub in the last quarter of this year is estimated at 69,500 to more than 77,000 jobs.
According to the center, the labor market will be more active at the end of the year, as businesses increase their headcounts to improve workplace productivity and complete orders and production plans. As major holidays such as Christmas and the traditional Lunar New Year, or Tet, are approaching, businesses will focus on boosting production to meet customer demand, and will therefore need to recruit more workers. Job vacancies will be mainly seen in trade and services, which accounts for 66%, and industry and construction, some 33%. Given the rapid development of the digital economy, employees are required to equip themselves with technological knowledge. This is also one priority that businesses are sharpening focus on in recruiting new employees.
The Hanoi Department of Industry and Trade has been expanding sales points of local products as part of the nationwide One Commune, One Product program.
The capital has more than 11,000 farm-produced items with QR codes to enable origin tracing. It leads the country with nearly 1,650 OCOP products from 426 enterprises, cooperatives, and business households. To bring these products closer to consumers, a host of promotional programs have been held across the city.
Since the beginning of October, my department has opened locations to sell OCOP products in a number of districts, such as Dong Da, Hong Hai, and Hai Ba Trung.
Most recently, on October 15th, the department introduced locations selling OCOP products at cooperatives in Thach That and Than Oai districts. The capital now has 60 sales points for OCOP products in 26 districts and communes.
All OCOP products must meet requirements in food safety. We hope these products can reach more consumers.
Hanoi is striving to have an additional 2,000 OCOP products certified with 3 stars by 2025. It will continue working to bring OCOP products to distribution networks, trade centers, and supermarkets.
Intriguing stories about Vietnamese dishes in the past are told through stone stelae on display at the special National Relic Site of Vnews thăm of the Temple of Literature.
The 800-year history of Confucian examinations in Vietnam saw the holding of hundreds of such examinations to identify talent and ensure the continued development of the country's dynasties. Since the first imperial examination was held in 1442, doctoral laureates who passed the examinations had their names and related information inscribed on stele. The exhibition organizer selected 14 stone stele telling the stories of the first doctoral laureates who passed the imperial exams under the Le and Mac dynasties from 1442 to 1529. These steles are considered silent observers of the country's history, telling thousands of inspiring stories about the life and career of over 1,300 doctoral laureates.
The design group has attempted to present the most impressive means of storytelling to visitors. With the theme talent, a valuable resource of the nation. The exhibition is the first of its kind to decode 82 stone steles preserved at the Temple of Literature.
Built in the 11th century during the Le dynasty, the Temple of Literature is among the most important Confucian symbols in Vietnam, and one of the most popular relic sites and tourist destinations in Hanoi.
Cần Giờ District, the only area of Ho Chi Minh City bordering the sea, is expected to become a high-quality resort and eco-tourism city by 2030, under a resolution on the city's development.
Under the resolution, Ho Chi Minh City will build and develop Cần Giờ District into a green, innovative and eco-friendly city. Authorities will focus on developing high-quality eco-tourism resorts, improving technical and social infrastructure, raising living standards, and effectively setting up the government management system. The average total production value of the district is set to increase 20.7% in the 2021-2030 period. The proportion of services is forecast at 74.7% of total production value, while annual per capita income is to reach 182 million Vietnam dong by 2030.